Well, I guess we're on, aren't we? Courtside Monday, Chris Burkhardt here. That didn't play the right intro, and that's all my fault. I was trying to get it all set up and produce a show and get YouTube going. I accidentally put in just music. With my luck, the next thing, make sure you check that. 'Cause with my luck, the next thing is going to be the intro to the show is going to be what he pushes when he goes to get me out of here. But that's right. Chris Burkhardt here, Courtside Monday. Big shout out to the man over there running the board now, Chad, doing just a great service for the studio today, since everyone else decided that they wanted to have the day off today.
Hey, don't set me up for failure, bro. Don't set me up for failure.
I promise you, sir, I will try not to. But some things are just out of my hands. They are just out of my hands. I will do my best for you, though. Now, hey, we're having fun today. We're going to have some fun talking a little bit of Blazer. I don't know how the heck you sat there and did an entire show not talking about the Blazers. Oh, wait, I know how you didn't talk about the Blazers. You got plenty going on with college football and all that nonsense. But in the meantime, Chad, the Blazers, oh, yeah, they've been good, they've been bad, they've been somewhere in between. It all kind of depends on the day, doesn't it? And the Blazers didn't get their third straight win like they had hoped just the other night in Utah. Crazy things happened in that one. But I tell you what, man, I know I'm not alone here. At least I like to feel like I'm not alone in that the Blazers, man, there's little things about this team that have been nice. Over this stretch of games, of which they've won 3 of their last 5. Of course, there is that painful one against the Milwaukee Bucks, what is now over a week ago, where they got up by 26 and still dropped that thing, unfortunately. But, man, you can't tell me that it's nice to finally watch Scoot play the way he's supposed to finally watch Shaedon Sharpe finally get that monkey off his back again, because he started the season so darn well. And then he hit the little bit of a lull, right? The way things were going, you're like, okay, here we go again. That sophomore slump, if you will, but he's been scoring in bunches over the last few games, which, again, you love to see. He and Tumani Kamara both, they tried to retire Walker Kessler in that last match. Oh, my goodness. Back-to-back dunks just put Walker Kessler on a poster, which is okay if you're old Walker. You want to... You want to go after those, right? You want to play defense. It's like when people got mad at Yusuf Nurkic because he got postered by LeBron James. And you're like, no, that's what you want your guy to do. Like you want him to go up and attack the guy defensively. That's beauty right there. And sometimes it works for you, sometimes it doesn't, and it did not work for the Utah Jazz in that instance. But, man, Tumani Kamara and both Shaedon Sharpe looked wonderful. And, Chad, you've been over there doing the pregame and postgame show, filling in for Mike Lynch, so you get that perspective. Granted, they've been on the road, so you don't get to see him, but isn't there something so special about when, as I tweeted this, when it happened, like a big dunk can happen, and all Lamar Hurd has to do is scream. And it just speaks to the people. Like, the people get it. That, oh, yeah, a big play must have happened. Because it was just as soon as the dunk happened.
Those 2 dunks by Sharpe and Kamara on Walker Kessler were terrific. And I think what I love the most about this team right now, you get a little bit of everything, but it's been what I've always said, it's the different guys on different nights, multiple players contributing and making game-winning plays. And the way they're competing and giving themselves a chance against teams with more talent is very impressive.
Yes, that is mighty impressive. And we've had fun over the various shows, too, as I've been filling in for you. I said everyone did like a little bit of a musical chairs. Everyone moved one step to the left here for the last week or so. But it's also been really reassuring and very nice, I think, if you're a Blazer fan, to watch the fact that Scoot Henderson, he's slowly starting to put it together, guys. Like, he's slowly starting to put this thing together. And, of course, I think everyone wants him to score in bunches and do things that way. But the fact that he's out there starting to score, but he's getting assists, he's controlling the ball well, trying not to turn it over too much. That Utah game was a little weird for everyone, but the game prior to that in Cleveland actually led the team in plus minus, which is an important metric, perhaps overused, but it is still an important metric. And the fact that he's playing limited minutes and he's still getting the assist numbers up there is something that you love to see. So I like that absolutely as well. Now that I'm on YouTube too, and everyone can see that I'm wearing an ugly sweater today, or as Justin Myers calls it, a novelty sweater. I had to start wearing these, Chad, because Justin called out the ugly sweater on the show the other day and said he doesn't like them. I told him next time I fill in for him, I'm going to wear one. And then I was feeling festive today when I went to work. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to wear the ugly sweater and have a day with it. Enjoy the moment.
Hasn't he gone to parties that are like ugly Christmas sweater parties before?
Yes, but you know how he is. He's like, it was cool for a moment, but now everyone does it. And he is kind of right in the fact that, like, it's not an ugly sweater anymore. It's like a novelty sweater. It might as well be a novelty T-shirt. It's not truly an ugly sweater, but hey, man.
Your daughters probably love it, though, don't they?
They do, especially when I call them cotton-headed ninny-muggins.
Well, when you're a dad and you're doing certain things to entertain your kids, that's perfectly okay.
Yes, so, as I have been on TV before with painted fingernails. It happens.
I've done that before. I've got a daughter too, and we've gone to get pedicures. And I'm like, okay, honey, what color do you want me to have? And she'll choose the color for me. I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah, but the pedicure thing, though, Chad, is just a thing that the manly man just needs to get over, because it's a wonderful thing to take care of your both your feet and your hand digits, man.
It's beautiful.
C.J. McCollum was a fan. We can all be a fan of that. But no, joking aside, as I am still feeling festive. And, I did thank Mika during the broadcast the other day, too, because I came in and noticed this, by the way. And I told her on the broadcast that the first thing I said when I was like, oh, great, it's nothing but Broncos. And then I turned my head and saw that there was Niners snowflakes on there, too. I was like, man, our fans take really good care of us. But it was funny because ever since we started YouTube, by the way, YouTube, what is that? It's this fancy app that you can go on your phone or your computer or your tablet, type in youtube.com, then go to Rip City Radio, and you can find us streaming all the time. The morning show, the afternoon show, Courtside Monday streaming right now. Of course, the fifth quarter and game day. But ever since we started doing that, people started picking on us. Like, you guys need to work on that interior decorating, man. Get some stuff in there. And I laughed because I told Mika that she is part of our interior decorating budget, and the budget is donations. So thank you for the donation of the Christmas tree. And also, I like how Chad pointed out, the first thing I pointed out, too, was, is that a Diet Coke for the Godfather? Like, our listeners understand this station. So it's beautiful. Need like a little coffee over there, like a little fancy coffee Friday. Everybody's taken care of.
Yeah, Justin was left out. That would be a good one. A fancy coffee Friday ornament for Justin.
A little fancy coffee Friday.
We could get something on there from the Beavers for Brendan.
You got to make like a custom, Beaver's Edge one, since he's always doing his writing. Well, there you go.
Or a Pac-2 ornament.
Pac-2. That's just too soon. That's just not nice at all. But what are your takes on the Blazers? Jump on that YouTube chat. Get in there. Again, youtube.com/Rip City Radio. You can also dial in 503-248-0620. I need to hear from some of you, especially my man Ken in Vancouver. Haven't heard from him from a while. He did jump in on the chat the other day, though, and I called him out. I was like, how come you haven't called in? He's like, I'm still mad at Joe Cronin. Because for those of you who know, Ken in Vancouver, big-time Dame believer. So he's still reeling.
No one loves Dame more than Ken in Vancouver.
No. So jump in, get your thoughts in on what you think about the Blazers. Also here in the second segment, we're going to take time to listen to Coach Billups as well as Scoot Henderson. Both had some availability with the media at practice today. So thank you to the Blazers for getting us that audio. But, man, the Blazers right now, I like what I'm seeing. And I know that people get mad at me for trying to be positive about these things, but man, you understood what was going to happen with this team when the season started. You knew that it was going to be ebbs and flows. This team was going to have its ups and downs. I say over and over again that I think the word of the year for me is lumps. This team is going to take its lumps, but it's kind of like Dwayne Wade, right? Like, if you get knocked down 8 times, get back up 9. And I think that's what the Blazers are doing right now. And there's a lot of things that are positive, despite the fact that the Blazers are sitting at 6-13, have the third worst record in the Western Conference, tied. Well, I guess not tied, like a half-game lead, if you will. They have the 6th worst record in the entire league there, just a half game worse better, excuse me, than the Charlotte Hornets. So, yes, the team's not great, but there are great things happening. And as I alluded to, I think one of those right now is Scoot Henderson. He's healthy. He's not dealing with the ankle. He's getting his limited minutes coming off the bench right now. And I know people get upset with drafting a number 3 overall pick, and you're like, you don't want to put that guy on the bench. You want him to be your starter. Well, sometimes you just got to go with the flow. And right now, the flow is Malcolm's playing great, and this gives Scoot a chance to just come in, not as much pressure to just perform with the starting unit, just learn the little things he needs to do. And that's why you saw a game like you did against Utah, where finally he got that shot to fall a little bit and grabbed 17 points along the way. And you're like, okay, these are things you can build on. We're one step closer to my goal here. Even I don't know if I should have a goal connected to Scoot, but my goal is just seeing that a day where he scores 20 and things are looking good, right? He's had multiple games where he's dropping 7 assists. He had one just the other night. He and Malcolm Brogdon each led the team with 7, yet Scoot did it in 20 minutes of play. And that's interesting considering he hasn't had the ball in his control as the primary ball handler that often. So those are things you love to see. Okay, Shaedon Sharpe bouncing back from that fast start, because he had the fast start, then he hit the lull, right, where the shot wasn't falling, the legs looked tired. Yeah, the legs didn't look tired when he almost hit his head on the rafters hanging far above him in the Delta Center in Utah just the other night. Those legs looked fresh. And when you got fresh leg Shea, things are looking up. He's getting the shot to fall. Of course, that uber athleticism was what gets Blazer fans up out of their seat. That's great to see. And I still think this is not even, I think, debatable, Chad and the listener out there. I feel bad for you, Chad, because I always do this to Shacker, too. Like, I see you on the other side of the glass, so I just direct everything towards you. Like, okay, right, Shacker, all right, Chad. That's why I like having someone in the building. But I think it is not even debatable that the biggest highlight thus far has been Toumani Camara. This guy was a throw-in, so to speak. Like, yeah, I think the Blazers knew what they were doing with the big Dame trade and the DeAndre Ayton trade that helped net him. But this is a guy that was a second-round pick, not a ton of hype coming in. Like, once the trade happened, people were like, okay, they got Toumani Camara too. Who's that? He has looked like a player. Like, he has looked like a ball player. The Blazers may have found their guy, right? For years and years and years with Dame, is like they need a forward. They need a guy who come in and play defense. They need 3 and D. Need 3. The 3-point shot is starting to fall, right? But he's showing athleticism. He also had that massive dunk against Utah. But I think more so than anything, the defense that he is playing has Blazer fan just excited as all can be. Because, like, we finally got a guy, maybe for, like, the first time in, like, a decade, that, like, playing defense, watching him play defense is fun. And when you have a guy like he and a guy like Matisse Thybulle, who's actually been phenomenal coming off the bench, this is where everyone automatically go, oh, trade Matisse, trade. No, I think Matisse is perfect where he's at. You gotta remember, he wasn't a starter for the Sixers. He's a bench guy, right? So now I think coming off the bench is just the perfect spot for him to just be comfortable and do his thing. And since he's been coming off the bench, the shot has been decent, but defensively, he's been a juggernaut. So you got 2 guys playing really good defense, and then I think you get that trickle-down effect, right? Everyone's like, well, they're playing real tough on that end. They're exerting a lot of energy. I got to give my best, too. And so I think Scoot's playing better defense. Malcolm Brogdon is a good defender. He's playing great defense. I think Shaedon Sharpe has been playing better defense this year as well. Those things you love to see. I love to see it. Absolutely. Don't know about you. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Grab the phone, 503-248-0620. Give me your thoughts. Or jump on YouTube and search Rip City Radio. You will find us there. All right, I got to take a quick break here on the show. See, told you. I told you. I told you. That's exactly what happened. They put it in the wrong place. That's on me, guys. That is not Chad's fault. That's all on me. That's all on me. But we're going to take a break. When we come back, we will listen to head coach Chauncey Billups, because he did have a media availability today. We'll also get a chance to listen to Scoot Henderson as well. There is Malcolm Brogdon on there, but we only have so much time before I got to keep talking. All right. We'll let Chad get his thing going. He'll give me the thumbs up when he's ready to roll. There you go. Oh, you know, fans. We'll be right back. All righty, welcome back in to Courtside Monday. Chris Burkhardt here with you. As always, you can follow me on Twitter if you are so inclined, at Chris J. Burkhardt, where, as I say all the time, we can continue the conversation all night long. I love to chat. Shout out to the chatters as well. Thank you to Lisa, who's loving the sweater, by the way. Now I need to get a ugly sweater, or again, as Justin calls it, novelty sweater budget. Get some more in my repertoire. It's kind of fun. Rachel also asks, what instrument did I play? Because she knows a couple who has a daughter who currently plays in the U of O marching band. Well, there you go. Tell them I said hi. Tell them the legend of Chris Burkhardt. I'd be like, oh my gosh, you know him? You know him? Yeah, marching band legend. Absolutely. I was a saxophone player, by the way. All through high school, played 1 year of saxophone. Then I was the conductor, the drum major. I always got to say conductor, though, because every time I say I was a drum major, people are like, oh, so you know how to play drums? No, it's a completely different thing. I sat up there on the ladder and waved my hands and made sure the band stayed on time. It was fun. My very, very last performance, BCS national title game against Auburn. So there you go. Went out with a bang, except the Ducks lost, and that wasn't very fun. All right, let's get back to Blazer talk, though. Man, as I've said, there's been plenty about this team, about these guys that has been nice. For lack of a better term, it's just been nice. And again, the maturation of guys like Shaden Sharp this year, the early production of Tumani Kamara has been great. I think maybe you're starting to see truly what you have in Chauncey Billups as well. Like, what kind of coach is he? He was billed as, right or wrong, a defensive coach, right? And you're starting to see, I think, the fruits of that, because this team is playing some very, very good defense this season. Much improved. They've had nights where it's off, but is overall much improved. But I think all eyes every single day, every single weekend, every single moment are on Scoot Henderson, right? And how he's progressing. And he's been playing well. He absolutely has been playing well. He's had, again, his moments, his hiccups, his learning curve, if you will, his lumps. Again, it's just, it hasn't been smooth. And I think the tough part about that is because he is going to always be associated with Dame. Even though they weren't part of the same, trade, even though one was moved on so that the other could, kind of come in and be drafted, what have you, he's always going to be connected. It's always going to be they traded Dame for Scoot, even though, again, he wasn't actually traded for him. You guys get what I'm saying, though. That's the thing. And I think that the tough part about that is you just got to let Scoot be Scoot, right? Just let Scoot be Scoot. That's what's important in all of this. And don't make him be a shooter that he's not, or go make him be a 50-point per night guy like Damian Lillard was. Just let him be Scoot. And that's the thing. And I do think over the last few weeks, I think you've been starting to see that. Now, he did have a chance to talk to the media today after practice, and here's what he had to say.
First off, how would you say the team performed on that road trip? Obviously going 2-2, really had a chance to go 4-0 if things would have broken your way. So,
I mean, my mindset is on winning. So, I think we could always do better. Even the games we won, we still have a lot of things to work on. But I think it was a solid road trip. 2-2. That's not bad. That's not too good. But I think we can be even better. So.
How would you feel like you've played since returning from the injury? Because it seemed like you're starting to kind of build a little momentum here on that trip, at least.
So I guess I'm just picking it up a little bit. No lost confidence. Just make sure I'm getting out there, getting a lot of reps, and offense, defense. While I'm sitting down, I'm watching the game, making sure when I go in there, I know what to do. I know what we need, and at a certain time, when I go in there, and that's pace, and that's defense, turnaround, converting. So. Just knowing what I got to do.
Now that you said after the last home game, which was the first game that you played in after the injury, you said that you had never really noticed anything with the vision before they started having you wear contacts. Now that you've played with it for a few games, are you actually noticing that there's like a difference in your vision and how it's making you play?
It's not like a huge difference, I guess, letters that are far away, a little, I can see a little bit better, I guess, but nothing too major to where, the rim's right here and the rim's over there last time I checked, you know what I mean? So nothing too major, just making sure I'm protecting my eyes, really. That's why I got the goggles on. And
you weren't seeing two rims?
Nah.
How has coming off the bench been for you? It seems like it's probably been a good process for you to maybe watch Malcolm learn and then come in with less pressure.
For sure, just knowing that Malcolm's in there, and he's figuring out the game as well, how they're playing them. And like I said to Casey in a second ago, knowing my job when I get in there, making sure I'm converting on the things that they made Malcolm do at certain times, and make sure when I go in there I see what they're doing and I could try to make a play out of it. So coming on the bench just gives us a different perspective. And I honestly think coming off the bench is harder because you got to go in right away and match the intensity of the other team, match the intensity of the players that you just subbed out. Say I'm subbing out too. Like, that's tough intensity to match with. So, I think it's a solid thing for me to go through right now. And I'm okay with it. As long as I'm getting in there and trying to make the game better for my team and just things around now.
How can you not like that when you listen to that and that sense of maturity, right? Like, I think there's a lot of guys who would be upset that they're coming off the bench, but like he's like, yeah, just do what you got to do. And in some cases, it might be harder because I got to come in, I got to match that intensity and this and that. Like he's sitting there and he's learning from Malcolm. I think he's doing a good job of sitting on that bench and making sure that the time that he has that front row seat to watch these other guys go out there and do their thing, that he's not wasting that time at all. Like, don't you think that's kind of like that's good to hear? I like hearing that. And what do you think about Scoot? 503-248-0620. But that sounds like a guy who's got a good head on his shoulder, a guy who's kind of a leader of that locker room in the long term. That's what they want this guy to be. But he ain't worried about it. Like, he understands that this is going to be a rough season, that this is going to be a season of learning, a season for him to find who he is at the NBA level. And lately, over the last few games, again, they're letting Scoot be Scoot. And that's huge. That's huge as you move forward for him. So I love hearing that from him. And I think it has been good because he goes in there and he's not being asked to do too much. There's not a lot of pressure. But at the same time, there is, right? Because it's like, okay, second unit, go in there, make sure either if we have the lead, we try to keep it. If we're down, we try to get back in the game. Maybe we're going to have you play off the ball a little bit, come up with the ball, do a bunch of different things as we continue to experiment and see what we have with you. Like, it's tough go. But I just love the maturity and the understanding that, okay, this is an opportunity, right? It could be worse. I could be getting DMPs while healthy, right? Could be worse. So he understands the opportunity that's in front of him and is taking advantage of that. And that, I think, is something that you got to love. You got to love to hear that if you're a Blazer fan. So what do you think? 503-248-0620. Or for those of you who just don't like to talk on the phone, to which I'm one, jump on YouTube.com. Type in Rip City Radio. You will find the live stream there where you'll be able to jump in on the chat just like Rachel and Mika and Lisa and everybody else. All right? Of course, shout out to Mika. She points out that she likes the sweater, and you can't trust what Justin says about it because against his better judgment, he married a Husky. So, I mean, there's truth to that, except I'm a Red Sox fan who married a Yankee fan. So sometimes opposites attract, okay? Just got to play that one out there. Oh, man. How you doing over there, Chad? You doing all right? I see that your head keeps craning over. You're like, okay, there's football. Can we get this show on the road?
The game's horrible. Have no interest in the Jags and Bengals without Joe Burrow.
Do you see Robert Griffin? Like, what a ham jumping into the pool, full suit on. Like, he's doing it for the clicks.
You're right, though. Marrying a Husky would show questionable decision making.
No, I gotta be careful. I haven't met her yet. I don't want her to bite.
She's great. She's still a Husky.
Yeah, she's still a Husky. She is still a Husky. That's a tough one. Like, at least with my wife, Red Sox, Yankees, like that, they're on the other side of the country. Like, I don't even have to deal with her going to Yankee Stadium every weekend and rubbing it in my face and all this. Plus, we're both just purists. We just love baseball at the end of the day. Oh, man. It's like that old, you ever remember that old ESPN commercial where it was the guy in like the Ohio State shirt and the girl in the Michigan shirt. They're cuddling on the couch, and then they just the words pop up that like without sports this wouldn't be disturbing or something like that. Like it's kind of true. It's kind of true. Of course, I don't know. He seems like he stays his distance from her on game day, which probably is a smart decision. But I got to talk to that man, though. It got to hurt to lose to your wife twice in one season. That doesn't get to happen very often if you're a Duck and a Husky. Now, back to basketball. It's so hard to talk just basketball where there's so much good stuff going on in college football. But we got to talk about, this is a basketball show. Chauncey Billups, he also talked to the media today. And again, how good of a job is he doing as a coach? I know people didn't want to give him the benefit of the doubt in year one. There was a lot of people for various reasons who didn't like him, some of that being just the fact that he didn't have a lot of coaching experience, some of that being there was a lot of people who would have preferred that the team went with someone like Becky Hammon, would have been the very first female coach in the NBA. Now she went on and she's done some absolutely phenomenal things with the Las Vegas Aces, mainly winning couple championships with them. There's people who wanted that. And then there was people who just didn't like the fact that there was that sexual allegation, sexual misconduct against him from, I believe that was his rookie year in the league that has, followed him around. And there's a lot of people who didn't like him for that reason. And I think everything is fair to some point here. But as a coach, how is he doing? How is he doing? Is he starting to prove anything to you? I think it's tough because I think that he wants this team to be a better defensive team. I think they're starting to show that. That is great. They are also kind of the ebbs and flows, right? The leveling of justice here is if the defense gets better, the offense gets worse, right? The Blazers have gone from having just historically great offenses, hitting threes every single day, to an offense who just can't get it done. And that's terrible. That hurts. Right, but defensively, they're starting to show the things he wants to do. Now, some people think, like Dirtmunk Fritz here in the chat, Chauncey hasn't had to prove himself yet. He needs some pressure, and that's interesting, right? Because the tough part about how you gauge Chauncey is I don't know how many coaches would come out smelling rosy after the first 2 years that he's had, where the team has constantly bounced back and forth, right? Between we're going to be a playoff team. Maybe we're going to try to contend to, we're going to tank. And then we're going to come back into the next season. We're going to tell you guys the exact same thing, do the exact same thing. Then Dame gets hurt, and then we tank, and then we trade everybody, and we completely hit the reset button for him heading into year 3. So this is the first time that he's had a chance to just kind of, again, mold the clay, as I like to say. Build the team the way he wants. And I do think it's starting to show the personality that he wants them to be. As I've said to Chad and everyone else every single time we get on here for game day in the 5th quarter, it's like identity is huge. And for the last few years, the Blazers, I just don't feel like they've had an identity outside of Dame. Dame was their identity. Right now, their identity is this is a team that's going to come out there and they are going to go 100 miles per hour, pedal to the metal, and they're going to play good defense. They're going to make you work. They might run out of gas late for the first, they might not complete all of the laps, but for the first 3 quarters of the laps, they're going to look like a sports car. They're going to look fun. And I like that. It's entertaining at the very least. All right, let's take a chance, though, to listen to Coach Billups from his media availability. And if you are on hold, stay there. I'll get to you in just a moment.
Malcolm basically said that man's ready to roll. No, he said he practiced today. So was he close to being ready?
Yeah, he looked all right. He looked all right. So day to day, I hope so. We'll see.
Still day to day?
Yeah. Stuff like that, you gotta, the proper protocol is what I have to follow. You know what I'm saying? I don't like following no protocol.
Yeah.
As y'all know.
You had him out there a month ago.
As y'all know, but I gotta respect the game.
He practices, but then you have to see how he feels after he practices.
Yeah, but the good thing is we have, which I'm really happy about, is we got 2 practices. We had a little time this week to practice, so I'm happy about that. But his conditioning looked pretty good. I feel good about it, but we'll see.
You're hoping next couple games or so, maybe.
The next couple what?
Games or so, next few games maybe.
For Ant?
Yeah.
To start playing?
Yeah.
Shit. I'm hoping the next game is what I'm hoping. Not games or so. I'm hoping now. But we'll see, though.
There we go. That's good. He wants Ant, and he wants him now. And I did think we all felt that, like, middle of December would kind of be that moment, right? I think December 16th was kind of a date that we had marked on our calendar. But if Chauncey wants him as quick as possible and he's practicing and he's looking good, that's a good thing. Like, that is a good thing for this Blazer team moving forward, because once they get their best shooter back, changes up the game just a little bit, right? Changes up everything just a little bit for this Blazer team. Oh, by the way, my wife chimes in, my wonderful wife. So she was listening while we were talking about Red Sox, Yankees, and all that jazz. Her and my daughters approve, Chad. The tree makes the room look much better on YouTube.
Not hard to do.
No, it passed the daughter decorating test. All right. Speak of the devil, he must have heard his ears burning because I just haven't talked to him in forever. For a minute there, I was like, I just hope he's okay because I haven't heard from him. But he's back. He's on the radio. Ken in Vancouver. Welcome back in, buddy. Chad's got to make sure the phone's on. Is the phone on? There it is. How you doing, Ken?
Hey, Chris. I'm doing good. Happy holidays to all of Rip City.
Oh, right back at you.
Things I like, things I don't like at almost the quarter mark of the season. Loving everything I'm seeing from Shaden. Not just the arched back dunk on Kessler, but you're 100% correct about Kamara. What a diamond find. Just incredible. He looks like he's made of the right stuff. Been very impressed with him. Brogdon, just a complete professional, fantastic all around. Things I haven't liked, lack of even both point guards getting Ayton more involved down low. He shows a real nice touch, free throw line in, and they're just not getting him the ball enough, in my opinion, whether it be Brogdon or Scoot. They seem to have a blind eye a little bit to him. I'd like to see that change. But also, Ayton has a little bit of Nurk in him, and I've been disappointed by him. His picks are way worse than Nurk's ever were. He's he needs to learn how to do a pick. Matter of fact, Shaqtin' a Fool made fun of him for basically air picking, in other words, picking nothing but cats for the friendly ghost. And he's got to get better at that. And, it looked like his thigh got a little hurt or something happened the other day, and he was kind of massaging it. And I was like, okay, don't go Nurk here. Don't go Nurk here. And speaking of the old guy, Durant must have told Nurk, you pull that stuff you did on Dame in Portland in the Blazers, you'll be gone from this team, because I saw that guy drive down the middle and dunk on people. He's dunking everything next to the hoop. There's no more flip shots. I'm like, I bet you Durant just basically said, you took advantage of Dame because he was your brother, but you're not doing that here.
Hey,
you want time, you want to get, you don't pull that BS here.
Hey, just remember how good he looked during the Nurk fever time. He always looks good for, the first month and a half.
Well, pre-fracture, he looked that way all the time. He was really, the Blazers were really ascending with Nurk. He actually played Jokic man up. It was amazing. Since the fracture, Jokic has owned him, except for the other night. He actually played Jokic for the first time in probably 4 years. Really, really good. And I was impressed with his performance. But the Blazers, they're really giving the effort. It's great to see. I think the Blazers franchise trying to push the Scoot thing a little too much. He's developmental. He's a good young kid. I like a little bit what I see from the, his driving to the hoop is extraordinary.
Yeah.
His passing is a little worse than they kind of build. He misses guys, a little too many passes off. He gets jammed in traffic and he doesn't know where to go with the ball. But he's developmental. He's going to be learning. It's going to take time, but I like his attitude. That's good. I think him coming off the bench is perfect where he needs to be, learning from the constant professionalism of Brogdon. And I'm looking forward to Ant being back. Ant should right now be the true face of this franchise right now, unless if they're going to trade him, because he's earned that right.
Yeah.
I might have been on Ant before, but right now Ant deserves to be the guy. He's done enough. His beautiful shot, and he deserves to be the face right now, and Shaden. What can you say about Shaden, man? 2 years in, he's starting to look like the real deal. Hey,
Yeah,
thanks
absolutely.
a lot. Happy holidays.
Yeah, absolutely. And happy holidays right back to you, Ken. I'm just glad you finally called back in. I've been missing you. We got good chats when you're on in the YouTube chat. Rachel, Kenny, see? They like that you're back around, all right? Earlier too, Chad, by the way, I said, I got to tell you, Chad is taking one from the team. Chad doing back there producing. I'm doing my best Brian No every time. My daughters the other day asked me, why did you keep calling him doing over and over again? Why did you yell doing nonstop? My daughter was not a fan.
At least your girls have respect for me. I appreciate that.
Right. They're funny little children that they are. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on Courtside Monday. When we come back, we'll talk about Ayton. I do like that Kenny brought him up because that's important. There's stuff to talk about there. And if you are on hold, looks like we got at least Michael out in Lake Oswego. Stay there. I'll grab you on the other side of the break. Chris Burkhardt here, Courtside Monday on Home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. All right, welcome back into Courtside Monday. Chris Burkhardt here. I almost said filling in for Chad Doing. I'm so used to saying that over the last week with the whole Blazers game day, man. But no, this is my show, and we've had fun talking a little Blazers and listening to Coach Billups and Scoot. And it does sound like the Ant-Man might be back pretty soon, which would be pretty nice if you're the Blazers. Coach wants him back as soon as possible, preferably in their next game, which would be kind of nice, would it not? I don't think that's going to happen. That is, on Wednesday, so that's just 2 days away. Maybe it is, but, man, that will be a jolt of energy when you get him back. That would be absolutely awesome. All right, let's head out to the phones where Michael in Lake Oswego has been waiting patiently. Michael, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so your lady's a Yankees fan. She must be all right.
Thanks.
Go Yankees. Yeah, and so a couple things. First, the first one with Billups. So here we are in his third season, right?
Right.
And I'm wondering how long does he get a pass, right? Because he got a pass for the first two sort of dump years. Now he's got this year where nobody's expecting us to be good either. So how many more years? How long until we get to figure out what? I mean, I don't know. I'm not a great judge on this. I'm not an expert. But do we have a good coach? And again, hiring somebody with no head coaching experience, I was against the hire. I was against the hire for some of the other reasons you mentioned as well. But anyway, that's how long does Chauncey get a pass, and how long does he get to be, 30-win coach? And lastly, you were going to talk about Ayton. And does anybody besides myself feel like we have just a slightly different version of Nurk? I mean, because Ayton will show wonderful flashes. He's very talented, gifted. Nurk he's showing flashes down there, and I'm from Arizona.
Sorry, Michael, that was my bad. I did. I'm listening to your question. I hit the wrong button and cut you off. That was on me. Okay, but I'm going to answer your questions real quick. First off, let's go Ayton, because I want to talk Ayton for a second. And I think what's crazy about Ayton is I get what you're saying with him having the flashes, the ups and downs of Nurk, right? But I think part of that is just because the team is not involving him every single time like they should. Because he has nights where he has 10, 12 shots, and he makes 9 of them, and he looks great. And then he has another night where they give him the ball 4 times, and they don't try to feed the offense through him at all. And he's shooting the ball at such a high clip, Michael, that I want to get the ball in his hands more. I mean, he's having, like last game was a, air quote, felt like an off night for him because he shot the ball 50%. Like, he plays well around the rim. He's wonderful. Got the mid-range shot. I like it. As for Billups, I think you give him the rest of the year and then see what you got. You have to see some sort of development, right, to understand who you truly have as your coach. Otherwise, you're going to waste the young years of some of these guys, and you can't do that. It's a tough question, though. You got to watch this one play out. Thank you for the call, though, as always. All right, the music means it is time to go. We'll be here Wednesday. Blazers taking on the Warriors. That'll be a fun one. Game day with me and Chad Doing. Until then, Rip City, as always. I love you.